Okay, the first item on the agenda, special use permit application for 650 West 11th Street, dog training facility with Kennel. Jeremy, Mr. Camp, you have anything to add to that?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor, members of council. I wanted to give just a brief overview of the application and the Planning Commission's recommendations. So you have the staff report in your agenda. I'm just going to follow through that and highlight on the key information. The project, the proposed use, rather, is proposed at 650 West 11th Street, Suite A. This is the location where there was a former Jamaican restaurant. You can see an illustration of the property here. The top left picture is the front view from the street. Then the picture to the right of that is the entrance to the rear parking lot, and that's to the right of the building. And then the lower picture is the picture of the rear parking lot. In the zoning ordinance, certain uses are allowed by right, and certain uses require a special use permit. A special use permit is something that can be approved at the discretion of town council. That's first reviewed by the Planning Commission. And that was done on May 15th by our Planning Commission, and they held a public hearing. Here's a couple more illustrations. The map showing where the property is in relationship to the police department on the left of the screen of the aerial. And then there's the large administrative parking lot that was formerly used by Avtex. And then there's the Thai restaurant and also some residential properties close by. And so what the major consideration here has been the potential impacts of noise that the use may generate. The top illustration is the zoning map. As you can see with the properties that are zoned commercial, the property is zoned commercial. Kennel's in the C1 zoning district, which is commercial, require a special use permit. It is a very small kennel, and it's part of a dog training facility, so that the applicant has not described the use really as a full-scale commercial kennel. It's a dog training facility where the training is going to be inside the building, and they'll have some kennels there where the dogs will stay overnight for periods of time in what they're calling doggy boot camps. They've prepared a site plan, which is illustrated here. Basically just shows the layout of the existing property. Nothing's proposed to be changed on the site. On May 15th, we had a public hearing. There's one citizen that came out, the adjoining property owner, to the side of the property, and he had some concerns over the potential noise. And he discussed that with the Planning Commission, and the applicant has put together a very good sound mitigation plan. And so I think that has really helped things go through the Planning Commission level. It's broken down into 3 tiers if you read through the plan. Tier 1 would be items that would be done right up front before the use is started. And then there's 2 other tiers of items that would be done to the facility to make it more soundproof if needed. But the applicant feels that because of the limited scale of the use and that it's inside, Tier 1 improvements will take care of any noise impacts. The conditions are drafted, however, so the town can revoke the permit if it becomes a problem. The maximum number of dogs that can be kept there in the kennel would be 10. And the Tier 2 and Tier 3 improvements could be required by the Planning Commission. And we talked about this in the meeting, that we would be sending copies of the special use permit conditions to the adjoining property owners. The applicant was very forthcoming and said that she would be communicating with the adjoining property owners and addressing any issues that may come up. So the Planning Commission did recommend approval of this. It does require a public hearing with Town Council as the next step. So the purpose of tonight's meeting is really just to brief you on the application and to see if you have any questions before the public hearing.
Any questions from council?
Yes. Jeremy, does the applicant live in those apartments?
No, young lady and her husband. She's the business side of things, and he does the dog training.
Is there a possibility of any health issues when you have a kennel on the first floor and apartments on the second floor with odor from feces and all the other urine and all the other things?
They will have to go through to meet all the building code requirements, and that's going to take a change of use process. The area was previously used as a restaurant, and so she's fully aware of that, and that's going to address, a lot of those concerns. The waste is going to be disposed of in the garbage, and she's discussed that with Public Works.
Problem, I went and looked at it earlier today, and looking at it with residential on both sides of the building, and apartments over top. I don't know. I just feel that, in my opinion, to me, that wouldn't be a very humane place for a dog kennel with having apartments over top, regardless of what you do with it. Because odor, you can't stop odors from feces and things of that of animals. And I just have a little problem with that.
I believe Councilman T-Wald's question had to do specifically with the health issues. Did you specifically, or your department look specifically at any health issues as it relates to feces in the building and residents living upstairs?
Not directly, no. We did consult with the county, and we did consult with Public Works, and they both were okay with the application.
Okay. I think it'd be worthwhile to have, can you look further into the health aspects?
For the health department,
Yeah.
We can speak with them directly. Yes.
That'd be great. Any other questions from council? Ms. Thompson?
No.
Joe?
Mayor, do you want us to hold off on the public hearing, or do
No,
you
we
want
still have more questions.
Okay.
Hang
Sorry.
tight. Anything else, Bill?
No, I'm fine.
I had a couple other questions. The outside training facility, how large is that, and what's going to be taking place outside the premise? Anything outside?
The training would take place inside the facility. There's a floor plan in the application.
So the animals will not be let outside?
The way she explained it is they may temporarily, just through coming in and out of the building, they may be outside for very brief periods of time, but all of the training activities and the kenneling operation would be inside.
Okay. Last question I have is, did you personally speak to the citizen that objected, or did he just come to the public hearing? Have you met with him
I spoke to him at the public.
at the public hearing?
Yes.
How was were his concerns met, and did he feel more comfortable after the public hearing, or?
He didn't know what to expect coming to the public hearing. He had just received a notice of the letter, and he explained he took a little bit of time off from work early to get there, and he wanted to kind of find out what was going on. But he was concerned about the noise, and we talked about the sound mitigation plan, and explained that there's not a whole, the number of dogs that were in the facility, and in the end, he felt that he was more comfortable, but he was still concerned. And so that kind of led into the discussion of Planning Commission wanting to hear back from him if it became a problem, that he had that power to report that to the town, and then we could potentially revoke the permit if it became a problem.
Okay. Yes, sir.
The owner, was he the owner or renter of the adjacent property? Do you know?
I want to say he said he was the owner, but I'm not positive on that. I know he said that he's been living there for a very long time.
I know most of the places down there are rentals, so.
Yeah.
And 10 dogs, I think that would be quite a bit of noise in that area.
Okay, so it sounds like we have some,
I got
see a
a
lot?
question. No, we'll think about it. I was thinking about the trainer. Is there a license for that, and are they certified in that discipline?
I can get more information on that.
I think that's important. They already know that.
Okay.
I mean, sure, it's a business license that goes with it, but I know in Germany, it's a big deal with the places like this.
All right, no other questions? Mr. Waltz, what was your question? Sorry.
The question is, do you want to go ahead and continue with advertising for a public hearing, or would you rather us come back to you at the next work session before proceeding?
Yeah, hearing no objection from council, I say we put it on public hearing. We've got some pending questions. We can have the public come and speak. We can ask more questions at that meeting. If we're not prepared to vote on it, we can table it, or we can vote it up and vote it down. So I see no reason to stop it personally, hearing no great objection. So let's do that.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeremy.